welcome back to my channel. Today I have a new literature unit study for you. This one is the Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and I am still using my Classic Starts versions. I think these are great for younger readers. They really kind of make it more fun to get into the classics at an early age. So if you'd like to take a closer look inside this lapbook, then stick around and let's go do that now. So as most of you probably already know, I use the Classic Starts versions. I would suggest you kind of go with this version. If you're this is too easy for your student, you could always get like a regular unabridged version. However, I can't guarantee that my questions will line up with the chapters and that kind of thing. So I kind of prefer if you use this, but you're welcome to try the other one if you like. And then inside the lapbook, if you open it up, you can see there are several little mini books that go with each chapter, and there's instructions in the student workbook that tell them what questions to answer inside each mini book. And then this particular lap book has 19 chapters, and so there's one book for each chapter. And then as you can see, we've added this little extra flap at the top so that we can fit all of them. Each one of my units also comes with a vocabulary packet, and these are just a set of words that might have been a little bit new to the reader, and also it's a great way to kind of build the vocabulary. And I usually suggest that they do that prior to reading so that when they get to those words in the book that they actually understand what they mean. So that's what the majority of the lap book looks like. And then if you flip it to the back side, we've also added this pocket on the back to store our reports. And here are all the reports that are included. This is actually the teacher's manual, so it tells you what you'll need, and it tells you the book and which version of it. It also tells you that you're going to need 2 file folders, some scissors, some glue, and some tape, and that's to create the actual, the actual lap book itself. And then it tells you how to prepare, what to do before reading, and I usually have the students do a predictions worksheet, and that's this report right here. And they're going to take a look at the cover and just predict what they think the story is about, what they think, where they think it takes place, and that kind of thing. And then when you're done, you'll go back and look at that and see how right you were as far as matching what the book cover looks like as to what the book actually entails. And then it tells you how to prepare your lap book as well. And then as you go through it, it tells you each chapter what to read, what to do, and then in the teacher's manual it has the questions that are also on the student workbook. However, you have the answers in here. The students obviously don't have the answers in their workbook worksheets that they'll cut out. So, and that does that one for each, like I said, one for each chapter, and then every now and then it will call for one of these extra reports. And so at some point it will have you do a couple facts about the story, the setting, the plot, the main characters, some of your favorite things, and then there's a spot to draw pictures. There's also a book versus movie report, and this is really fun. If you can find a age-appropriate version of the movie for your students after they're done reading the book, you can have a movie night, and then they can do a little report that talks about the similarities and differences between the movie and which one they liked better and that kind of thing. There's also just a standard book report, and that's just where they're going to talk about the author, the illustrator, just a brief summary of the book, and then a report. And you might have to print off a couple pages of these depending on how long your child's book report is or whatever. And then there's also a protagonist and antagonist. It's a good term to learn, but it talks about who plays those roles in each one, what their conflict is, and if they come to a resolution and that kind of thing. And then of course there's also a timeline of major events, and so as you go throughout, your students can either write in here or draw pictures in here. Just to kind of help them remember some of the major events that happened in the story. And I'd like to do this just because it's a quick, easy way to kind of review, oh, do you remember that book? Here's what happened, and that kind of thing. So like I said, we actually keep all of these reports, and we just stick them in the back pocket here of their lap book, and then as we get to them, they can pull them out, fill them out, and then just store them back in there. Alright, so that is my latest literature lapbook unit. I hope you guys enjoy these, and I hope they make learning a little bit more fun in your homeschool. I think they're a great way for students to work on reading comprehension and at the same time read some of our, some of the most beloved classics around at a little bit of a younger age. So I hope you enjoy these, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me. If you want to see these up close, you're also welcome to check out my blog post. I took close-up pictures so you can kind of see them a little bit more in detail. And I hope you enjoy this video, and I will see you next time.